Welcome to the News Hour. Dangerous wind conditions are picking up speed and threatening to spread devastating fires in Southern California.
4 of the major fires have burned through more than 62 square miles already. That's larger than the size of San Francisco or Paris. At least 24 people have died. About 24 more are missing, and a number of communities have been reduced to ash. Officials say they're worried the death toll will grow this week.
I've got everything labeled out as far as...
In Los Angeles County, it's fire versus firefighters. After making some progress taming the blazes this weekend, strong Santa Ana winds were expected to pick back up today, fanning the flames and making it harder for crews to extinguish them on the ground and from the sky.
The anticipated winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in all of Los Angeles County critical.
In all, some 8,000 firefighters are battling the 2 major wildfires in the area. As of this morning, the enormous Palisades fire was 14% contained, and the Eaton fire was 33% contained. With harsh conditions in the forecast through Wednesday, the city remains on high alert for the fires to worsen or for new ones to ignite. LA's fire chief, Kristen Crowley.
We are not in the clear as of yet, and we must not let our guard down. As we have right now extreme fire behavior.
The fire started last Tuesday and spread quickly. In the days since, more than 150,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their neighborhoods. In Santa Anita, near the Eaton fire, volunteer Angelinos showed up at this parking lot turned donation center, dropping off essential supplies by the truckload. Bottled water, diapers, and clothing for those who need it most.
I just needed to come out and do something to help people. Sorry, I feel so bad for the people. So just wanted to come help somebody. That's all I can do. I can't give a bunch of money, but I can come and give my time.
I think the whole city is affected, whether you've actually had your belongings burnt or not. So, I mean, you can smell the soot in the air, and we were just wanting to get out and do something, like feel active, that we're actually giving back in some way.
To the west, at the edge of the Palisades fire, dozens of cars lined up this weekend, people hoping to return to their homes to assess the damage and retrieve personal items. But after hours of waiting, all were denied entry due to hazardous conditions.
There's a thankfulness that at least for now my house is still there.
29-year-old Avanti Prasanna considers herself one of the lucky ones. Still, she described a deep communal sense of loss.
I grew up in the Palisades. My elementary school is gone. My high school is half gone. Most of my friends have lost their homes. So it's still heartbreaking, even if your house is there, to know that what I always thought was one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in Los Angeles is just gone. It'll never be what we knew it as.
Yesterday, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order suspending the state's landmark environmental laws as people take the initial steps to rebuild their homes and businesses. He spoke about it on NBC's Meet the Press.
We've got to be thinking 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years ahead. At the same time, we're focusing on the immediacy, which is life, safety, and property. California leads the nation in environmental stewardship. I'm not going to give that up. But one thing I won't give into is delay. Delay is denial for people.
Officials say that residents will be allowed to return only when it's safe. They also expect the death toll will rise as search crews continue to identify victims in the fire zone.
People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors. Please be patient with us.
With a dangerous fire weather forecast expected to extend at least through Wednesday, let's turn now to California's State Fire Marshal Daniel Berlant for more on the conditions and the unprecedented challenges that firefighters continue to face across the region. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks.
These fires remain largely uncontained, and you've got millions of people in Southern California who are forecast to be in critical fire risk zones, as we said, at least through midweek. What are the persistent challenges that your crews are facing at this moment?
While we are making progress on a number of fronts on the current fires, as you mentioned, we are gearing up. We are pre-planning for significant winds over the next couple of days. That may not only hamper the efforts that we've been making on the Eaton fire and on the Palisades fire, but it could, if there is a new ignition throughout Southern California with these winds, could lead to another major destructive fire or many of them. And so we are working with our local partners, pre-positioning even more fire resources so that if a new fire does break out, we can quickly respond to it.
What about the availability of water? That was a major issue early on. What's the latest there?
You know, while were some early reports on the first night on water pressure, obviously the just sheer number of fire hydrants that were being used to battle this fire put a huge strain on the watering system. And so we leaned in and very quickly mobilized 140 additional water tenders. That's additional to what was on the initial attack from LA City and LA County Fire Department, bringing in water trucks to ensure that there was plenty of water to help battle these fires. On many of our wildland fires, we don't have fire hydrants to access in mountainous or inaccessible terrain. And so we often use other tools that our firefighters carry to help us towards our containment efforts. But bringing in all types of resources has been a focus from night one of this fire. And now that we are a week in, we've continued to see that mobilization pay off. Over 1,000 firefighters today on the front lines from other states, the military, the National Guard, all assisting with this. These resources, again, are making a difference.
One thing we've heard from other fire officials is that beyond just battling these blazes, you're also having to compete with misinformation online. How is that complicating the response effort?
Yeah, there is a lot of misinformation out there. Now, the governor launched a website to provide facts to the public. You know, it's difficult in times of disaster for people to always understand exactly what's happening. The first 24 hours questioning why there was no aircraft over the fire and not understanding that when you have hurricane level winds, you can not only not fly fire retardant aircraft effectively using that retardant and never is even able to make the ground. The wind just dissipates it, but also it's unsafe for our pilots at that level. And so we've been really working hard to try to ensure that we're getting information out, focusing in on what matters. And that is the people that are immediately impacted by this wildfire, making sure they have early evacuation information, making sure they have clear directions on what to do while we work to make sure everybody in the region, in our state, in our nation know what's happening in this natural disaster. We have to focus on the people that are immediately impacted by the wildfire.
Looking at the weather forecast, am I right in assuming that it could take toward the end of the week before any of these fires are contained?
It is very likely, not knowing what the winds will actually do on the fire the next couple of days, that we will be on the front lines of these fires for several weeks to come, if not several months. Obviously, we'll work very hard, as we have been, towards full containment efforts, but it is way too early for us to estimate exactly when that might be. Right now, firefighters are continuing to mop up hotspots, continuing to extinguish flare-ups that are occurring, building containment line all the way around that fire, all despite continued abnormal temperatures and conditions in the month of January. And then the winds that we've been discussing, that too is only going to challenge us. And so we are working as hard as we can to make sure that we get containment on these fires, but it's too early to know exactly when that might be.
A weeks or month-long firefighting effort, is that right?
Very easily. Now, we are looking, while we are focused on the next several days with strong winds, we're continuing to monitor the long-term weather forecast. We could experience rain. We are leaning in hard with making sure that we're assessing the burned areas, that we're working with our partners for flooding concerns, with debris removal concerns. And so we may very quickly in the next couple of weeks shift from a firefight to a flood operation. And obviously there's a number of other state agencies and entities that play a critical role in that effort. So the natural disaster, if you will, may be months in the making here and in the work to fully contain it as we potentially transition to from wildfires to flooding. Again, work happening now, though, to try to shore up and protect the communities before that rain does occur.
Well, our best to you and your colleagues. California State Fire Marshal Daniel Berlant, Thanks again for your time this evening.
Thanks.